Tonight, on a very special episode of Kill All Robots. The very special episode is like one of the oddest staples of 80s and 90s television. I don't know how many of you will be old enough to remember the very special episode, but it was like when shows that were usually very lighthearted and even silly tried to deal with a very serious subject and usually did it in the most clumsy, bizarre manner ever. One of the oddest, very special episodes has to be from Saved by the Bell, airing, November 9th, 1990. So many of you know what I'm talking about without me even giving detail. It may be one of the most famous, very special episodes ever. So the title of this episode is actually Jesse's Song, but everybody probably remembers it. Everybody probably remembers it as the I'm So Excited episode. The reason this episode is so strange and just veers into terrible is because the writers just chickened out on it. An example of writers not chickening out on a very special episode, I would say, is from 7 years before this episode aired, and it was Diff'rent Strokes, The Bicycle Man. We almost saw two children get inappropriately touched. But I'll probably save that one for another video. Anyway, so the very special episode, it dealt with topics from drug use to various forms of abuse, whatever. It found us characters, which, here's the thing. These characters are written for comedic effect. Imagine you're watching like a completely silly Jim Carrey movie. Not one of his movies that is a comedy but has like serious tones to it, like The Truman Show or even Man on the Moon. I'm talking about like Ace Ventura. And right in between, like right after Ace Ventura is talking out of his butt, like literally talking out of his butt, he turns to someone and says, "You're not a victim, you're a survivor." How strange would that be? That's what we were getting with the very special episodes. We have Screech. We have a show with a character named Screech, and we're supposed to take this thing serious. So in this episode, you have Jessie Spano, who she is the straight A overachiever of the group. She's a cheerleader. She plays sports. She volunteers at a homeless shelter. She reads the blind puppies. She forms a singing group with her two friends, Lisa and Kelly. Even the name, like Lisa's last name is Turtle. I know there are people out there whose last name is Turtle, but you cannot have a serious show where a character's name is Lisa Turtle. Anyway, okay, let me get on point. Anyway, she forms this group, which is just one more thing she cannot handle. The name of the group is called the Hot Sundays, by the way, like that matters. So because of all this pressure, Jessie starts she starts taking drugs, and Zach is the one who notices, right? And he's the one who confronts her on it. So he goes to her house and he confronts her, and then he finds her with her stash of speed. I'm joking, guys. It's not even speed. It's caffeine pills. No, serious. It's caffeine pills. The use of caffeine pills. She got addicted to caffeine pills. Here's the thing. You can definitely get addicted to caffeine. I actually made a video talking about how I think the Coca-Cola company was trying to get people in my high school addicted to caffeine. It's a thing. I'll put a link to that video in the description. I've developed a dependency, whatever, on caffeine. Dependency is a strong word. I've gone through several points in life where I was where I was drinking so much caffeine that when I stopped drinking it, I started getting headaches. Because that's what happened when you stop drinking caffeine. That's what happened when you stop taking caffeine. You get headaches and you get irritable. You don't lose your stuff like she does in this episode. And what we see is one of the craziest scenes of a sitcom. She's having a wig out and she starts singing, and everybody remembers this. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so scared. This scene is so iconic. My closest friend, we will greet each other with this on the phone on occasion. Serious. I could call her up now. I almost want to do it and record it, but I'm not going to because whatever. But I could do it now. I could call her up now and be like, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And she'll join in just unprompted. She'll just join in unprompted. No matter where she is, she would probably join in unprompted. And then, I'm so scared. And that's not caffeine behavior. So apparently, according to a 2016 interview with Peter Engel, one of the writers, they originally were going to use amphetamines, but they kind of chickened out and made it caffeine. Almost said speed, but no, made it caffeine. And they didn't change any other aspect of the episode. They didn't change any other aspect of the episode. They had her basically having speed amphetamine behavior, like meth behavior on caffeine pills. She was having meth behavior on caffeine pills. Once again, that would be like having someone smoking weed and having them having heroin behavior. Just spit coming down from their, while they're smoking a spliff or whatever. It really is that scene from Half-Baked where Dave Chappelle is like, I'm addicted to weed, and Bob Saget says, weed isn't a drug. I used to suck dick for crack. Did you ever suck dick for weed? You're not sucking dick for caffeine pills. If you're sucking dick for caffeine pills, you just wanted to suck dick. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It did this because the writers of the show chickened out. They chickened out. Different Strokes did not chicken out. But we'll talk about that in another video. The way the episode should have ended is Zach follows her after school, and she's going to this really grimy, dirty hotel. And she gets out of her car, and she goes into a room, and then this guy follows her into the hotel. And Zach is like, holy, what do I do? Then Zach goes to the hotel door. He knocks on it, and like it gets quiet. And he hears the guy say, get the, out of here. And Zach's like, no. And he keeps knocking on it, right? And then he kicks the door down. And then he's like, he goes in like right before Jesse takes a knee to, And then Zach says, Jesse, you've been saved by the bell. No, it doesn't make any sense, but hey, it's the name of the show.